Hey guys, it's 681 Shadow. Welcome to the draft analysis for a new Pokemon Draft League. Now, I know we've had a bit of a gap with CPC Season 3, which I do apologize for, and plus a bunch of other small leagues that have sadly died off, like the Sun and Moon League died off sadly, and then the League That'll Inevitably Fail also died off. So, it is unfortunate, but we do have a new league, and plus this is an upload league, so this should go a lot smoother than those leagues. We are in the Ultimate Pokemon Conference, aka the UPC, commissioned by Tyler, aka Phantom Base. All of the people who were involved with this, their links will be in the description down below. Go check them out, and all the support will be greatly appreciated. So, to go over the Connecticut Krookodiles roster for the UPC, we have a pretty powerful team, in my opinion. I'm very excited to use this team. If for those of you who have been on my channel for a long time, you may remember the league WCP, which stands for World Championship Pokemon. I took some ideas from that draft and tried to incorporate them here. So the first mon on our team is Landorus Incarnate, and Landorus Incarnate is a very solid mon with sheer force, and you can run like Life Orb to do just a ton of damage. You can run Yachi Berry to try to deal with some threats like, let's say for example, Weavile, or basically any dark type, because, not dark type, ice type, because ice types just completely destroy Landorus, and basically any mon who has the ground flying type, it gets just obliterated by ice. So, next up we have Mew, and I've really wanted to use Mew for a while now in draft. Ever since I saw my good buddy Gypsy King's run in the National Pokeball League, where he went and this is not me fanboying about him. I know he's a good buddy of mine and such, but he went overall 15-0 in the National Pokeball League, which is including playoffs. So he did win their championship and went entirely undefeated, which is absolutely insane. And he had Mew, and Mew is just such a versatile Pokemon where you cannot simply just prep. You cannot prep for Mew perfectly every time, because like there's a lot of mons that are just one-dimensional, like, oh, okay, I run it physical, or I run it special, and things like that. But you can run Mew literally any way. You can run it physically offensive, specially offensive, physically defensive, specially defensive, mixed, max speed. You can run it as a support variant. There's just so many variants of Mew, so it's kind of hard to prep for. It's kind of like an enigma, which is why. And I forgot to state the nicknames. The nicknames for this season of the UPC will be themed around the some of the abilities from Bungo Stray Dogs. So kind of also treating to my anime side of the channel as well. So because I forgot to go over them, Landorus Incarnate will be nicknamed All Men Are Equal, going after the which is named after the ability of the Armed Detective Agency's president, Fukuzawa. And then Mew is going to be nicknamed Vita Sexualis, which is the ability of the Port Mafia boss Mori Ogai. So then next up we have Mega Altaria, and this is the second mon from that WCP team that I was kind of looking at for this draft, the first being Landorus Incarnate. And Mega Altaria is a solid mon because it can go a few different sets. Like you can run the Cotton Guard set to have defense. You can run Dragon Dance physical set. You can run a special set. It has a decent amount of versatility, and it's overall going to be quite a good mon for this team. So next up we have Cobalion. And Cobalion can be good in multiple ways. Once again, another versatile mon. It can be physical. It could be physical. It could be special. It could be a suicide. It has very good speed, so it could be a suicide rocker. And overall, it's really fast mon, and it can help to possibly clean things up with its speed. And so far, right here, we have a pretty fast draft, other than, of course, Mega Altaria and possibly Landorus. So I feel like we have our speed pretty covered for the draft for now. So then next up, we decided to pick up a bulky water and Seismitoad. Now, Seismitoad I had a bit of experience with in the latter end of the CPC Season 3, where I made a trade with my good friend Matty Brawlick, and I ended up receiving Seismitoad. And Seismitoad is a pretty solid mon for a bulky water. It has the you can run it. You can run it with special attacks. You can run it mainly. It mainly goes defensively. With water absorb, which is nice. And then you can also run some gimmicks, like you can have what is it? Oh yeah, right. It's I believe it's Poison Touch. If you want to run that gimmick, you can also run like I remember the gimmick that I brought in CPC Season 3 against my friend Will. I brought because he had a Gothitelle where Shadow Tag was illegal, so I brought a Gastro Acid Seismitoad to be able to deal with the Gothitelle, so I can switch out on it. So because the Seismitoad set I had, and quite frankly, I don't think anything on Seismitoad can deal with a Gothitelle, so it can be run pretty interestingly. Next up, we have the Rotom Heat, and this is the last mon from that WCP team that I've been alluding to this entire draft analysis. And Rotom Heat is a very good special attacker. Sure, it looks like it has a quad weakness to ground, but it has Levitate, which really just helps it out. It doesn't have to deal with ground super effectiveness unless your opponent has like gravity, which would be an interesting tech on my opponent's part to deal with Rotom. But Rotom can be very good special attacker, Overheat, Electric Stab, and Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, things like that. And then people can run the Trick set. I've even seen in a league once someone bring dual screens on Rotom with, I believe, Light Clay. It can just be run. It's not as versatile as the rest of the mons that I've said so far, but I feel like that you can be slightly versatile with Rotom Heat. So next up, we have the 7th generation mon of my draft. We decided to pick up Salazzle. Now, don't ask me why I picked up 2 fire types back to back. I actually don't know myself. I was probably tired because we were doing a slow draft and it was probably at night. So it is what it is. But we have Salazzle, and Salazzle's really good for its corrosion ability, where it can poison any Pokemon regardless of type, which is very good for it can be very good for whittling things down, like to toxic. Some things like now you can whittle down like Registeels. You can whittle down basically mons that couldn't get poisoned, and the only way you could whittle them down is burn, which is nice, or having the tech like Soak or Type Change or whatever, and then along with Toxic. But Salazzle's definitely gonna be a fun one to try out for this season. Next up, we have Togekiss, and I was very happy to pick up Togekiss at round 8 because Togekiss is usually a mon that goes in like rounds 2 or 3. So its lasting to round 8 was absolutely ridiculous. Like I was like, okay, I'm on my I only need a tier because it's GBA format with 7 gen mons tiered. I was like, okay, I need a and all I need right now is a tier 5, and I have my free points. So I decided to pick up a free point mon because I was like, okay, I can pick up a tier for free points. I can do a tier 2, a tier 4, and a tier 5. So I decided to pick up a tier 2, and I was like, wait, Togekiss is still available. Why has no one picked up Togekiss? So I decided to snatch Togekiss, which is really nice. So Togekiss can be really good offensively with the proclaimed air slash flinch down people set. You can have what is it? Defensive Togekiss, and just Togekiss can be pretty versatile, and I'm excited to use it in the draft. So then next up, we picked up Gourgeist as our grass type to complete our Fire Water Grass core. And I forgot to mention before that we have our Fairy Dragon Steel core and Mega Altaria and Cobalion, which is nice. And then Then so Gourgeist is very good because not only is it a solid grass type, plus it has the 4 forms. So if I want to run more defensively one week, I can bring Gourgeist Super. If I want to run fast, if I want a faster Gourgeist, another week I can run Gourgeist Small. But not only that, Gourgeist is also a really good spin blocker. Or at least the only spin blocker that I have on this team. So it'll be a bit harder for my opponents to rapid spin if I do bring the Gourgeist to the games where they may bring spinners. So then our second to last pick is the Sneasel, and Sneasel is a very solid cleaner. Despite it not being fully evolved, Sneasel should definitely not be looked down upon, because even with Eviolite, it can clean things with Ice Shard. It can do good enough damage with like Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Pursuit, and you can also run it like Scarfed. You can run it Life Orbed. It's a very solid mon, and I'm glad to use Sneasel for the first time in draft. And then our last pick for the draft, we picked up Miltank, and shoutouts to my boy Anthony Zazo, aka Iron Flash Gaming, because Miltank is his mascot, and I'm very excited to use Miltank. And I'm not too sure about too much Miltank can do, but I'm sure if I ask around, and I know he's told me a couple things, but I'm sure Miltank will put in the finest of work this season of the UPC. So that is all for the for my draft analysis. The first week uploads for the UPC will be on January 13th for the team builder, which is a Friday, and then January 14th, Saturday, the day right after, on Saturday, is the battle, and we are facing the Jersey Dwebbles Week 1, coached by Cloud Envy. So I've known him for a while, and it's going to be really exciting to face him for the first time. So remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and let me know how hyped you are for the UPC and what you think of my team. And I will see you all next time.